Hello children. So we were learning in the first part of the lesson that the story is happening in the Russian background, and we have learned about the characters, their age, their appearance, what they were doing, and what kind of problem that they had to face. And we are having the main characters Fyokla, Danilka, and Terenty. And Fyokla was running in search of Terenty, the cobbler who used to help the children out in times of need. Now Danilka had met with an accident, which is nothing but he has put his hand in the hole of a tree and he was not able to take it out. That is where we have stopped. Now Terenty is coming over and we will see how he is going to help Danilka out from the troubled situation. The wood had broken at the edge of the hole and jammed Danilka's hand. He could push it farther in but could not pull it out. Terenty snaps off the broken piece and the boy's hand, red and crushed, is released. Now we are learning that Danilka's hand was inside the hole of a tree, which he could not take it out, but he could push it farther inside. So the meaning of farther is little more inside, little more distance. Right, we usually use this word farther. Yes, if you walk little farther, you can see the shop. Right, so farther means little more ahead. But he could not pull his hand out. Now Terenty snaps off. What do you mean by snaps off? Breaks off the broken piece which was preventing Danilka from taking his hand out, and the boy's hand, red and crushed, is released. So naturally, when you apply some force to take the hand out, your hand will be little reddish and crushed. It is terrible how it is thundering, the boy says again, rubbing his hand. What makes it thunder, Terenty? So in spite of having the pain on his hand, Danilka is very curious to know what is happening around the nature. So he's asking, what could be the reason for this thunder? One cloud runs against the other, answers the cobbler. So he has an answer for everything. Danilka is very inquisitive boy. He keeps asking one or the other questions, and Terenty is having an answer for it. He is telling that when too many clouds move faster and the friction of one cloud on the other makes the thunder. So though he has not studied all this knowledge from books, he has a tremendous knowledge about everything happening around the world. By being being experienced with nature, by being in touch with the nature, he has lot of knowledge about nature. The party comes out of the copse and walks along the edge of it towards the darkened road. So that copse means, the word meaning is a little wood or little forest or thicket of bushes. So all these things are happening over there. Now after taking the hand out of the hole of the tree, Danilka, Fyokla and Terenty are coming out of the copse and they are walking towards the darkened road. What do you mean by darkened road? The road is kind of darkened even now because it was raining. The sky was cloudy and there was not much light even though it was morning time. So what is happening? The sun has not come out with its bright sunshine. So the road is also kind of darkened. Now the thunder gradually abates and its rumbling is heard far away beyond the village. Now that the thunder has gone away, the storm, the wind has taken the clouds, everything far away from the village. So now they are able to hear a very faint sound of the thunder. Abate means reduce in intensity. So it has abated or it has reduced in its intensity. The ducks flew by here the other day, Terenty, says Danilka, still rubbing his hand. They must be nesting in the Nailia Shemischa marshes. So Danilka is telling that I could see ducks flying here. They must be nesting in Nailia Shemischa. So this particular word is a Russian word, so you have to pronounce it repeatedly, then you will get the pronunciation right. Here the word is starting with G, but the G is silent. It is Nylia Shamischa, marshes. Marshes means it's a swamp or a wetland where the ducks are interested to settle in with little amount of water and lot of vegetation. So these are the areas they wander around, right? They settle in for their living. So ducks have been nesting in Nylia Shemischa marshes. Fiokla, would you like me to show you a nightingale's nest? So he is asking his sister whether she would be interested to see a nightingale's nest. Nightingale, we all know that what are the specialities of nightingale, right? It sings beautifully, very melodiously, right? Don't touch it, you might disturb them, says Terendi. The nightingale is a singing bird without sin. He has had a voice given him in his throat to praise God and gladden the heart of man. It is a sin to disturb him. So Terendi is advising the children that it is a sin to disturb nightingale's nest. We should not disturb any bird's nest, and this nightingale is singing bird. It is gifted with a voice and it is singing to praise God. It is literally, do they praise God? Yes, they are thanking or they are singing or they are making use of the talent which they have got. So they are singing, they are praising God and gladden the heart of man. So who doesn't want to hear the sound of a nightingale? Everybody likes. So he is, or this nightingale is singing his heart out with happiness. So whoever is listening to that will also be happy. So why do you disturb such a bird and its nest when it is gifted with a voice and making or spreading happiness around the nature? Right? All the creatures, plants, human beings, everybody alike is so happy to listen to nightingale's song. So what is that lesson we are learning from here? Terendi is teaching the children not to disturb any creatures on earth, right? The birds are also part of our environment. We are not supposed to disturb them. Do not disturb the nest. A bright patch of blue appears in the sky. So far it had rained, there was a huge storm, and we could not see the sky clearly, the blue sky, we could not see it because it was darkened. There were a lot of dark clouds, rain clouds. Now the rain has poured in and the clouds had moved away. Now we are able to see the blue patch. Patch means a small piece of the sky. Look, says Terendi, and he burst open by the rain. They have been flooded. So they are noticing everything on their way back. So they are saying that the ant he burst open by the rain. They have been flooded. Poor ants. Their house have been washed away and they are drowned. They bent over the ant heap. The downpour has damaged it. The insects are scurrying to and fro in the mud, agitated and busily trying to carry away their drowned companions. So we can assume that flood is creating lot of disturbance even for human beings, right? You all can recollect how the flood has destroyed the normal life in many parts of India last year, especially in Kerala also, right? They had flood and it has created lot of havoc. So that is what happening over here for the ants. Just by one heavy downpour, the ant hill has been washed away. They have been flooded and they are agitated. What do you mean by agitated? They are unhappy, they are irritated, or they are annoyed. They are not happy at all. And they are scurrying. That means, moving quickly here and there, to and fro. They are moving here and there. So probably they are carrying their drowned companions. So they are also helping their friends, their companions who are drowning are being helped by the ants. So there is another life lesson we have to learn from here, from this story. What is the lesson? because even an insignificant ant is helping each other. So think of human beings, how much do we have to do for our fellow men. We have to do a great deal to our fellow men, right? When they are in distress, or when they are in difficulties, we have to help them. Now, they won't happen to you, says Terendi, grinning. Grinning meaning smiling. As soon as the sun warms you, you will come to your senses again. So he's telling the children, this is not going to happen to you. As soon as the sun comes out and spreads that warmth, it is going to help you out. It is a lesson to you. You won't settle on your low ground another time. So this is also a lesson for human beings, that we should not settle down on the low-lying areas, which is having a chance of getting flooded easily. They go on, and here are some bees. Now they are noticing another creature. What is that? Bees, cries Danilka, pointing to the branch of a young oak tree. The drenched and chilled bees are huddled together on the branch. So drenched means fully wet. After the rain, they all got wet and they are very cold. Chilled bees are huddled together. They are crowded together on the branch. There are so many of them, and that neither bark nor leaf can be seen. So the tree has been covered fully by the bees that we cannot see the bark or the leaves. Many of them are settled on one another. That's a swarm of bees, Terendi informs them. They were flying looking for a home, and when the rain came down upon them, they settled. If a swarm is flying, you need only sprinkle water on them to make them settle. Now, if you wanted to take the swarm, you would bend the branch with them into a sack and shake it, and they all fall in. So here is a technique that Terendi transfers to the children, that if at all you want to take the honeycomb, what you have to do is you have to have a sack and bend the branch into the sack and shake it off. The flies will fly away and you can take the honey, right? And another technique is, when the bees are flying and you want them to settle down, just sprinkle some water on them. They will naturally settle down.